The shelter was quiet that cold morning, except for the occasional barks echoing through the hallways. It was a place where hope and farewell intertwined every day. Among the many dogs waiting for a second chance, Toby and Rex were about to face a cruel fate. This was supposed to be their last morning. Both had been found in a dark alley, malnourished and sick. The shelter's team fought to nurse them back to health, but the test results were discouraging. Toby had a severe illness, and Rex, his inseparable companion, showed no signs of improvement either. The decision had been made. Dr. Laura, the shelter's veterinarian, was all too familiar with this burden. Every day she carried the weight of impossible choices. As she entered the kennel, ready to carry out the decision, she stopped in her tracks. Toby and Rex were huddled together, holding onto each other, as if they knew what was about to happen. This was more than a simple coincidence. Dr. Laura's eyes filled with tears. Dogs don't usually express emotions this way, yet there they were, Toby and Rex, united in one final embrace of friendship. Time seemed to freeze as she took in the unexpected scene. The shelter, usually filled with the sounds of barking and hurried footsteps, had fallen into a respectful silence, as if everyone present understood the gravity of the moment. Her gaze fell on Toby. For weeks, she had watched him struggle against his illness, growing weaker by the day. His breathing had always been labored, his posture frail, but now, nestled against Rex, something was different. His eyes were calm, his chest rose and fell in a steady rhythm. He seemed at peace. Doctor. Laura hesitated, then, driven by an instinct she couldn't ignore, moved closer. Kneeling beside the enclosure, she watched every tiny detail of their interaction. Toby rested his head on Rex's body, and in return, Rex held a protective stance, as if offering the last of his strength to keep his friend safe. Intrigued, she decided to run a test. Gently, she reached in and separated them. The moment she did, Toby shuddered. His breathing became ragged, his muscles tensed, and a soft whimper escaped him. His eyes, once serene, now brimmed with distress. Attention! We love seeing how far our stories travel. Let us know where you're watching from, and if you enjoy heartwarming animal stories, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Dr. Laura's heart tightened. She brought them back together, and as if a switch had been flipped, everything returned to normal. Toby nestled against Rex and his breathing steadied once again. A shiver ran down her spine. This was more than just a bond between dogs. Something much deeper connected them, something that defied conventional veterinary logic. She was faced with a dilemma. Protocols and reason told her there was nothing more to be done, but her heart told her otherwise. Once again, she gently separated them. Instantly, Toby showed signs of distress. His paws trembled, his eyes darted around, frantically searching for Rex. His breathing turned erratic, and another quiet whimper escaped him, revealing his discomfort. Seeing his reaction, Dr. Laura quickly reunited them, and almost immediately Toby relaxed. It was as if Rex's mere presence was an invisible remedy, a lifeline keeping him strong despite his illness. This wasn't just an emotional attachment. It was as if Toby's survival depended on Rex being there. Dr. Laura knew she was at a crossroads. Science and protocols dictated that nothing more could be done, but a persistent intuition inside her insisted that there was still hope. Ignoring the medical reports for a moment, Dr. Laura made a bold decision. She would postpone the euthanasia. Something in her heart told her there was still a chance, no matter how slim. She proposed a risky plan to the shelter's management: keep them together and closely monitor Toby's progress. The shelter had never attempted anything like this before, and at first there was resistance. But when the staff saw the hopeful look in her eyes and remembered the scene they had all witnessed, the director relented, and so the experiment began. Toby and Rex were moved to a quieter space within the shelter where they could remain together without disruption. Dr. Laura made it her mission to document every small sign of progress. That first night she stayed and observed. Toby, who had been lethargic and weak for weeks, showed subtle changes. He lifted his head when Rex moved, and for the first time in a long while, he even wagged his tail, just for a moment. But it was something. Dr. Laura took careful notes, knowing that every minute was precious. In the following days, progress was slow but steady. Toby's breathing became less erratic, and his once empty gaze now followed Rex's movements. Then, on the third day, something astonishing happened. He accepted food without any coaxing. It was a deeply emotional moment for everyone involved. The shelter staff took turns monitoring the pair. It wasn't just a medical issue anymore, it was something far greater. Toby and Rex shared a connection that defied logic. And as the days went by, it became clear that this bond was what was keeping Toby alive. Then, in the second week, the unimaginable happened. Toby tried to play. With a timid movement, he lifted a paw and tapped Rex, who wagged his tail in response and lay down beside him. It was a brief interaction, but it was filled with meaning. For Dr. Laura, it was all the proof she needed. They were on the right path. Despite the challenges, hope was growing. Each day, Toby showed small yet significant signs of improvement. He wasn't completely healed, but he was fighting, and that was all they needed to keep going. As days passed, subtle yet significant changes began to take place. Toby, once apathetic and disinterested in food, started showing curiosity whenever he saw Rex eating. Slowly, he began to accept small portions, regaining some of his strength. His once empty and weary eyes now carried a glimmer of hope. The veterinarians closely monitored his progress, amazed at Toby's resilience and the profound impact Rex's presence had on his recovery. His transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional. It became undeniable that his bond with Rex played a crucial role in his healing. Have you ever faced a difficult decision regarding a pet? Share your experience with us. Digging deeper, Dr. Laura found studies linking emotional companionship to the clinical improvement of sick animals. Reports showed that dogs with emotional support had lower mortality rates and recovered much faster. Intrigued, she decided to investigate further, reaching out to animal behavior specialists. In a conversation with a renowned ethologist, Dr. Laura discovered that Toby and Rex's connection went beyond simple friendship. Research indicated that the presence of a close companion could significantly reduce stress, strengthen the immune system, and even stimulate the release of endorphins and oxytocin, the so-called happiness hormones. She began observing every detail of their interactions. She noticed that whenever Toby showed signs of distress or fear, Rex would move closer, pressing his body against Toby's. Within minutes, Toby's breathing would stabilize. It was a symbiotic relationship, one that was not just emotional, but physiological as well. These discoveries led Dr. Laura to suggest a new approach at the shelter. She designed an experimental program where sick or depressed dogs would be paired together to evaluate their response to companionship. The initial results were astonishing. Previously withdrawn dogs began showing signs of improvement. Some started eating regularly again, while others even began to play, something they hadn't done in months. Toby didn't just need medical treatment, he needed Rex. And, as it turned out, many other dogs could benefit from this discovery as well. The shelter staff started observing more cases, realizing that dogs who displayed signs of sadness or apathy also seemed to improve when given a companion. Some who had previously avoided interaction began showing interest in their surroundings, displaying clear signs of progress, both emotionally and physically. This new method was gradually implemented, bringing visible improvements to the well-being of many animals. A new path was unfolding for the shelter. Then something even bigger happened. Do you think veterinarians should invest more in treatments focused on animals' emotional well-being? Let us know your thoughts. Toby and Rex's story spread like wildfire. People around the world were touched by their friendship and their fight for life. The impact was overwhelming. News outlets, websites, and even television programs began covering their story. Experts in animal behavior were intrigued, and millions of viewers were moved. The shelter received an outpouring of support. Donations came in, along with countless messages from people wanting to help not just Toby and Rex, but other dogs in similar situations. The shelter staff was astonished by the ripple effect this story had created. It was transforming not just the lives of animals, but also the way people viewed the power of companionship. Within days, numerous families stepped forward, eager to adopt them. Letters and emails arrived one after another, filled with hope and affection. But there was one non-negotiable condition. Toby and Rex had to stay together. Separating them was out of the question. Their bond had become a symbol of loyalty and unconditional love, and no one wanted to break it. Then, the perfect family appeared. A couple with 2 children and a large backyard offered them a home filled with love and space to thrive. The shelter couldn't have asked for a better match. How do you think this discovery can help other animals in the future? Share your thoughts. The adoption day finally arrived. The air at the shelter was filled with anticipation and emotion. Staff members who had cared for Toby and Rex since the beginning gathered to bid them farewell. Some held back tears while others smiled, knowing this was a moment no one had expected when the 2 dogs first arrived. Dr. Laura stood among them, her heart heavy yet full of joy. She reflected on the challenges, the moments of uncertainty, and the undeniable strength of the bond between these 2 dogs. Every small step in Toby's recovery had been a victory, and now his journey was complete. As the shelter gates opened, Toby and Rex walked out side by side, tails wagging in perfect sync. Their new family waited with warm smiles and bright eyes. The couple and their children knelt down to welcome them, showering them with affection and gentle words. Toby, once too weak to stand, now ran across the grass, with Rex faithfully by his side, just as he always had been. When they finally climbed into the car, comfortably settled and ready for their new life, not a single person watching could hold back their tears. They had won, together. More than just an adoption, this was a new beginning. Living proof that love and friendship can overcome even the greatest obstacles. Dr. Laura smiled, knowing that her decision had not only saved 2 lives, but had also forever changed the way the shelter approached animal recovery. What was the most touching part of this journey for you? Share your thoughts in the comments. Had it not been for that final embrace, Toby and Rex might not have made it. Love and emotional connection can often be the most powerful medicine of all. In a world where loneliness is becoming more common, the lesson these 2 friends leave behind is a reminder that emotional support can be the key to resilience. Studies have already proven that interactions between living beings reduce stress and strengthen mental well-being, something that was perfectly demonstrated in Toby's journey. Beyond that, their story highlights the importance of compassion and empathy, not only between animals, but among people as well. If we take a moment to look around, we'll see that sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can make the biggest difference. True friendship is a force that can transform lives. If Toby and Rex taught us anything, it's that we are stronger together. May this story inspire us all to value the relationships in our lives, to care for those we love, and to see beyond what meets the eye. Stories like this remind us that the true meaning of friendship transcends species. After all, who says only humans can teach us about love and loyalty? Have you ever witnessed an animal friendship that changed everything? Share your story in the comments and help spread this message of hope. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like and subscribe for more heartwarming tales from the animal world.